Yeah, mine's are at the bottom, the blue ones, right? Okay. Ah, yeah, right. Yes, you can follow me. So the one, so of course they're all initials and unique number, important. Eh? So the first one, so we have basically matrix with all the different building types as a rows, all the different energy types as the columns. If a certain building type has a high energy use of a certain energy type, then that's a dark cell. If it uses very little of that particular energy type, it's a light cell. Based on those, you can actually add like a hierarchical clustering as well. Okay, the second one, JA7, is basically vertical axis is time going from the start to the end of the year, or that could be a day. But let's say this is a whole year, and then it's basically mirrored. So horizontally, that axis is 0, and it goes up to the right. It also goes up to the left because it's the same plot. Look at the total energy use for on the right side commercial and for left side domestic data use energy use. And JA6 basically looking at one type of building in one particular city, having a clock, well, 24-hour clock, not the 12-hour, but 24-hour clock with bar chart. Basically, each bar is for each hour the total energy use. This could also be adapted looking at different types of energy. So one clock, quote unquote, for each type of energy use, for example, right? The next one is time versus, in this case, gas used, but it's total gas used. This is accumulative, and that's the thing here. So it never goes down. So basically, at point zero, there's no gas used yet, and as time passes, more and more gas is used, and you might, for example, see that in winter there's a lot more gas used for heating, for example. So that would be a stark increase, and in summer there's less, and there's a big increase again, right? So this is accumulated. Then JA4, those are basically little flames for gas. You can do the same thing with bolting, lightning bolts. Basically, have a small or big lightning bolts based on the amount of electricity used. Here, there's a little gas used for cooking, a lot of gas used for heating, and this would be, for example, for a whole city for over a whole year, right? JA1 is very simple, just the total gas usage, and then again accumulated over all domestic buildings or all commercial buildings. This is basically a bar chart, but then horizontal. This one, JA2, we have the 3 cities, we have all the building types, and then, for example, Boston, let's say building type A is the mid-size apartment building, has a certain amount of energy use, not that much, 3. But for building type E, which is restaurants, for example, Boston has a lot of energy used in restaurants, right? So the higher that number, the thicker the line is. And then finally, this is a very simple one, just a pie chart for one particular city, looking at all the different types of energy and how much of that energy is, for example, cooking gas, how much is heating gas, how much is heating electricity, how much is heating is cooking electricity, and so on.
Just zoom it in. So some of them are more or less the same, very similar at least to Jan's one. For example, here the number 5, this one is heating versus cooling per month. And again, this is a clock not of 24 hours, but of 12 months.
Mhm.
And there are 2 types of energy use for one city. From one side, you have the heating, from the other, the cooling. And logically, in the summer, you use more for cooling and less for heating in the inverse. We have the use per month per different. So every petal of the flower is one type of electricity use. We have the heating, the cooling, cooking, etc. So the size corresponds to the use, and the size of the leaves correspond of the proportion per type of building.
That is
Then we
cool.
have a comparison between the home and the office use over the 24 hours of the day, so 0, 6, 12, etc., with less use both at home and in the office during the night, then some peak periods in the morning for home, during the day for office, etc. Of course, it's a simulation, and we are not looking at the real data, but it's an idea why this can be interesting. Um, that's another variation of the same graph. It's the use per hour over the 24 hours, but on 180 degrees and not 360 for all the use, the kilowatt hours per hour of the day. We can do it both for one city or for all of the cities together. Then I have one that is basically the climate stripes idea. We can define some average uh, electricity use, and it can be either for a year or for per month. And the hue here is the deviation from the average. So the dark red is one, the use is really higher, and the orange is a bit higher than average. Uh, Dark blue is really lower than average. Then we have some energy with a simple light graph. So every line is a different kind of energy use with a highlight and two of them, the heating and the cooling. Again, it can be either in one city or in all the cities together. We have then on this number 10, the consumption per type of building per month. And then I have just the hospital and the school, but of course we can put other ones. And so the hue would show the quantity, the
So that's
deviation from the mean quantity of hospital.
mhm.
The next one is basically the same that the one that Jan showed earlier. It's not a pie chart, but it's a bubble chart. And so the black bubbles are the total consumption per location, and inside the colors are the different kind of consumption. So you have the hospital, the school, the offices, street lighting. And I think this kind of visualization can be useful for some overall overview in the beginning of the data, when you have just first a general image before going to the details. And here again, we have another heat map. Here is the heat map of the day of the week and the timing for one type of building. So, for example, imagine the offices, there should be more consumption during office hours from Monday to Friday and less during the weekend. So that's what I have.
So
We
really
have
nice ones actually. Yeah, yeah, because they need to be numbered, eh? So, dear students, actually, I'll, I'll put numbers on there. Don't worry, I'll put them on there. I'll use pink ones. So wait a second. So okay, so each axis is a building type, and then basic. So if you look at, for example, B, is that two, the one to the top right, right? Then in LA there's very little cooling energy used, and then a bit more in St. Louis, and there's a lot of cooling energy used in Boston. By all means, there are windmills, right? If they're sketches, right? It's a bit like a violin plot or something then. So there's already quite a few that actually are similar, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's. Are you gonna copy everything? Okay, good. Oh, there's something wrong here.
Okay,
Diverge.
I've copied everything
Okay,
and put
good.
it there. So
But
this and this are the same.
I-
This
I'm
and
also looking at which ones are separate than other ones. Which ones can I not immediately? So which ones do look at city and then the amount per building type?
do we
Um,
organize them by type of sketch, or do we organize them by the value, the
I'm th-
measure represented?
I think on what they try to say. That's what I'm looking at.
So I'm putting some general overview, some the initial look of the on the data here.
Well, is it a general? I wouldn't call it general overview. It's like uh,
The
basically,
macro.
yeah, it's basically like the it's the pie chart basically, right? So looking at which uh well the relative amount of each building, relative amount of each energy type, right? That's what's these two at the top are about,
Mm-hmm.
right? And in that sense, this one shows the same thing, but in a very different way, right? So
Yeah.
looking at, so actually this is the same. So that these two do exactly the same thing at the top.
So here we have just the use per building, and here we have those that put time also as variable.
Yes. Now this one here in the middle, that's a bit separate. So JA1, that is very, very, very general. So that I'll put that somewhere away. Oh, I put it away. I put something else in the same place again. Okay. I like several of them that I would like to combine or see
Mhm.
if they can. So if they're relative use for building, wait, yeah, different things here. So they basically all four of them show exactly the same thing, basically, right? So do we want to do something within this group? Not necessarily, I think. We can use these to link with something else, but not within the group itself, right?
It can be, or it depends if we are doing several visualizations, then maybe this can be the overview from which we start.
Yeah, yes.
If it's a kind of a data story,
Yes.
yes. If it's one plot, then no.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Wait a sec. How's the building? Yeah. Yeah. Can you can, can you sketch that quickly? I'll get my pen as well. By fabric is an example, but there, well, everything is lines, and basically I have horizontal lines and vertical lines, and horizontal lines are. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Let me try. Right. Let me let me try. So we have actually the inverse is what you have in JA8. That is exact the inverse. So we have, well, not building types, but we have, instead of having building types as a rows, we have cities, right? So, and the same thing. Wait, I'll draw it. Yes. Go ahead, keep working. I'll just make the sketch as we go along. Can you see this? Is that visible enough? Yeah, so basically this is based on JA2 and JA8, so I call it JA9. So basically you have the cities as lines. You also have the building type as lines. And basically, so the quote unquote nodes are the values. So between, for example, from JA2, the St. Louis to D is 9. So that would be a big circle. That's basically what that is. And basically this is the same as a matrix. This is a matrix. That's what it does. So that's what that is. I'll take a picture and upload it as well. Other things that can be combined, actually using different colors. So Ralitza, you have in RAL 11, you have these different colors for different types of buildings. We could, if you look at JA2, right? So one line, like look at between Boston and E, that's 5. But you'd actually make that a multicolored line as well, eh? So where the thickness is basically different lines together with different colors. See what I mean? So it's a multicolored line, where which is basically which is basically you could look at it as a bar chart, right? But where each bar, well, where each bar mhm, is very much extended. So I'm not. So basically, let's think of you have a bar chart, right? I'll show it in a sec. Yes. What I mean is this. Where's the camera? Oh, there we go. So basically, if you look at the bar charts of each of your circles, of your biggest circles, Elitsa. So for example, St. Louis, for particular building type with different colors. So that's a bar chart. So a stacked bar chart. If you would make this very, very wide, right? So you get this, you pull it on both sides, right? And if you put even further, it looks like a line with, but still it's a stacked bar chart between, if you look at JA2, between St. Louis and building type E, right? That's what I meant. So if you look at St. Louis to building type D, that's 9. This height would be 9 in total, but still you'd have all the colors in there.
Yep. And the width of inside, the width can correspond to the type of use.
The width would be the total amount of energy used in building type D for St. Louis. If I look at JA2, right? So in St. Louis for building type D, there's 9, right? So that's a thickness, but that 9 can be subdivided according to energy type using different
Either
colors.
horizontally or it can be
Yes,
subdivided vertically.
both actually. I would do,
Be
yeah,
something
both,
like that.
both. Yes, 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 both.
Something like that. We have the
Yes, yeah,
this
exactly.
the
Yeah. So what I was talking about is like 90, 90 degrees turns. But yes, true. Yes. Yeah, true. Yeah.
And I was also thinking of Jan's previous idea.
Hmm.
Uh, is that maybe a way also to invert what you were talking?
So can you zoom in a little bit more, a bit closer? So building type.
So we have a cover per city, and the width is related to the quantity of use.
Yes. And you can use the height for something else.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, this one. Yes.
This and this, that is the same idea.
I really like the climate stripes one. But that's definitely something that's can be combined with different with many different things, right?
Mm.
So I think this the climate stripe one that's one that we can that yeah. Yes. Yes. Oh, it's so the one with your flowers, solid. So that's
Mm.
I think that makes you think of, oh, what's his name? Who used flowers to visualize OECD data?
Oh,
Um, ah, the German guy.
yep.
Forgot his name. Ale.
I forgot.
Yeah, him. Yes, him.
But the flowers can be windmills. It makes more sense there.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. Yeah, yes,
The
yes.
higher it
As
is,
well.
more windmills you need
Yeah,
to generate this quantity, this
yeah,
energy.
yeah, 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 yeah. I was just going to say, in the interest of time,
Mhm.
maybe looking into which are like overviews where what other ones are more detail. Yeah, that also has to make has to do with which ones we want to focus on further, right? So um, actually, let's vote.
What are we
Okay.
looking for? The
Oh crap.
ones that we would like to implement?
Yeah, that they want that we want to take further, right?
Okay.
So the double diamond, like filter a little bit, and then we can go further again. Don't just pick your own runs, right? So the ones that we put a dot on, shall we just put them at the bottom? Yep. Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. But this could be, yeah. But
Mhm.
also this might be something if we have, let's say we have a scatter plot somewhere, then this could be seen as a glyph in a scatter plot, right? Because this could be, so this is per building, but that could also be per energy type,
Yep.
right? Yes. So basically, this is an exercise, right? Well, an exercise, well, something you have to do. So it's an exercise that you have to do. In the sense that when you've done this, yeah, you come up with new ideas like that JA9 that I drew. It's really good to then also indicate what you actually base that on. So which sketches give an idea to a certain other sketch, and then actually letting this simmer for a couple of days, and then coming back to it, and then doing the same exercises as well. So basically starting from what you have, and maybe generating some new sketches from scratch, and see how can actually you can come up with new ideas then, and you can start implementing based on that, right? Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, but it's yes, puts a little bit of a direction on what you're doing, but still exploring as wide as possible is really important, right? You could well as well, dear students, as you can see, all the sketches above the line we will not be using, right? We might not use, well, maybe later, but we don't use at the moment. All the ones that are not copied below the line, but that's no problem, right? It's really they help in actually thinking about everything, and that's the important thing.
And
Okay.
for me, the
Oh,
element
sorry.
of
Yeah.
just to add one thing, for me, the element of letting it rest a bit is very important because something that seems very clear now, tomorrow can be absolutely unclear, and then we'll see that we have to re-explain and be more specific, or the opposite, something that seems a great idea tomorrow may seem
Yeah.
a stupid one.
Or yeah, it might be a completely new idea as well. That's the whole thing. Yeah. Okay. Uh, Thanks very much.